All right, so looking at our week 2 supplemental material. Okay, so we're going to go through these solutions, making sure we understand why they are the solution. Okay, so looking at question 1, determine if the given point is a solution to the equation, show your work. That's not going to be there by the time you guys see that, okay, because that's not what we're being asked to do. So for this particular question, we're given the equation y equals 2x plus 3. We need to identify the slope and the y-intercept. All right, so the slope m is going to be the coefficient for x. So the slope is going to be 2. The b is going to be the constant. All right, so remember the slope-intercept formula is in the form of y equals mx plus b. Okay, so here's my slope. And then that b is my y-intercept. Okay, so if I'm looking at the second one, given the equation y equals negative 3x plus 5, identify the slope and the y-intercept. My slope is going to be negative 3, and my b is going to be 5. All right, next, question 3, it says graph the line y equals 1 half x minus 4 using the slope and the y-intercept. All right, so I'm not going to create a table for this one, right? Because I can graph this based off of the y-intercept and the slope. Okay, so my y-intercept just tells me where the line crosses the y-axis at 0, 4. And now my slope just says, if it's the slope is always read as a fraction. Okay, and it's going to be my rise over my run. So if it's a whole number, your run will always be 1, right? This is a fraction, so it's telling me to go up 1 positive and 2 to the right because that's positive. So 1, 2. So that's another point on the graph. And from that point, I can go up 1 and over 2. That's another point on this graph. And if I go up 1 and over 2 again, that's another point on this graph. Right? So my slope is a positive 1 half, but I can also go down 1, which is a negative 1, and to the left, negative 2. What's negative 1 divided by negative 2? Well, that's just a positive 1 half. So these are still points on my graph, right? These equations will satisfy, any of these ordered pairs will satisfy this equation, right? So let's just take this one. So we had negative 4, negative 6. So we said negative 6 is the y is going to equal 1 half times negative 4 minus 4. Well, what's half of negative 4, right? Half of negative 4 is just negative 2, and that's minus 4. Negative 6 on the left equals negative 6 on the right. It checks out. Therefore, we know that that's a point, right? So, again, when you guys go to drawing your line, okay, on that first week assignment, a lot of you guys are not using a straight edge, and I'm not going to be just so strict that I'm just going to mark you for everything. But you got to understand, once you get into these higher maths, if you draw a line like this will be marked incorrect. Okay, so in math 141, math 142, if you're planning to take those courses, this will be marked incorrect if you turn this in like this. You have to use a straight edge. Okay, I'm drawing with a mouse, right? So I'm not gonna be able to get you a straight line unless I turn on my draw tool, which I'm not gonna use that right now. All right, so let's take one look at question 4 real quick. So question 4 is the same as question 3. Okay, so I'm going to graph this line using my y-intercept at 0, 3, and a slope with a rise of negative 2 and a run of positive 1. Right, so I'm going to start off at 0, 3. Okay, one of the things I didn't do on question 3 also is that you should always label at least 3 of your points. So this is 0, negative 4. This was the one we checked at negative 6, negative 4. Okay, and then we also had positive 6, negative 1. All right. So now we can look at number 4. We mark the y-intercept at 0, 3. And now I'm going to rise negative 2. So I'm going to go down 2 and over positive 1. Okay. Then I'm going to rise negative 2 and run positive 1. Or again, I can go in reverse. I can rise positive 2 and go to the left negative 1, right? Because a positive 2 divided by negative 1 is still going to be negative 2. Okay, so I can rise 2 and run negative 1. Okay, and again, this would be my line, right? So if I marked my 3 ordered pairs, 0, 3, this is negative 2, 7, and this is positive 2, negative 1. And I should be able to plug any of these ordered pairs into my equation. So let's try this one right here. 7 equals negative 2 times negative 2 plus 3. 7 equals a negative times a negative is a positive. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 3. 7 on the left equals 7 on the right. It's right. Therefore, I know that that order pair works, and it will work for any of these points I have now marked. All right, so sit tight. I'm gonna finish up this video here, or I'm gonna finish up these next few questions in the next video or two. Talk to you shortly.